Hello students, hope you all are doing great. I'm Achal Chaudhary working as an assistant professor in management department. Today I'm going to share an online video on principles of management. If you haven't seen my previous videos, then please check them once as this video is linked up with the previous videos and this video will not be helpful if you haven't seen my previous videos. And link of the previous videos has been given in the description below. Please check them once. If you want the PDF notes of any video, then you can mail me regarding the same. My mail ID has been mentioned in the description of this channel. So students, it's your lecture number 2 from unit 2. In previous lecture we have covered planning, characteristics of planning, planning process and limitations of planning. And today we are going to start with planning premises, principles of planning, types of planning, policy, process of policy formulation, and types of policies. So let's start with today's lecture. Planning premises. What is planning premises? Basically, premises are the anticipated environment in which plans are expected to operate. They include assumptions or forecast of the future and known condition that will affect the course of plans, such as prevailing policies and existing company plans that controls the basic nature of supporting plans. So basically, planning premises is kind of a you can say outline in which a plan has to work. What we have to do here कि इसमें certain assumptions होती है, forecast होता है regarding the conditions और जो already आपकी prescribed conditions है, accordingly you have to plan the activities, you have to do the planning. It should be based on the conditions or you can say policies, existing policies or existing plans. It should not hamper them. It should be involved regarding those plans or those policies also. So you can say it's a kind of a set of principles and assumptions based on which any business planning is done. Or you can say it's a kind of a systematic and logical estimate for the future factors which will have a great impact on the planning. So planning premises is something which involves the planning कि planning इसका part कह सकते हो basically कि whenever you are going to plan something, so you have to keep an eye on the, you have to be conscious about the prevailing policies and existing plans. So whatever you are planning, it should be based on these two things. It should be based on the conditions which will have an impact on the yeah, like you can say plans. So it is your planning premises. Next is types of planning. So planning premises is divided into four parts: internal and external premises, intangible and tangible premises, controllable, semi-controllable and uncontrollable premises, constant and variable premises. So internal premises includes those which exist within the business enterprise, on which you have somehow you have a control on those factors. This may be included like men, material, money and methods. And external factors are like you are saying centers around the markets and derived from the external environment surroundings, like product market, or you are talk whenever you are talking about the market, particular market, then it is your external premises. Next is tangible and intangible premises. So tangible premises are those which can be measured quantitatively. They they may be quantified in terms of money, time, and units of production. Intangible premises. These are those which can't be measured quantitatively, like you can say public relations, employee moral, motivation. You can't compare into a quantity, right? So these are your intangible premises, which can't be seen, which can't be quantified. Next is controllable, semi-controllable, and controllable premises. So, controllable are those on which you have a certain control, on which management has a certain control to a, you can say like materials, money, machines. So, on these factors, a management has a maximum control. And when we talk about the semi-controllable premises, so on these are the like based on the assumptions about future which are under the partial control of the business. Here our management can have a like control over 50%, 60%, but that is partial, not fully controllable. You can say like a demand of the product or trade union relations. So where our management is having a certain control on these factors, but here these factors can't be fully controlled by the management. And non-controllable premises are entirely beyond the scope of business, like government policy, international trade agreements. On these management doesn't have a like 0% involvement has. मैनेजमेंट का इन पर कोई कंट्रोल नहीं होता. मैनेजमेंट इज नॉट इन्वॉल्व इन दीज डिसीजंस. दे कांट डिटरमाइन these factors. And last is constant and variable premises. Constant is the one where there is no certain change can be occurred. It is like a static premises. So constant premises are those which behave in similar fashion irrespective of actions taken. They are well defined, or you can say well known or well understood. So the behavior or these premises is not subject to the change. आपका यहाँ पर कोई change नहीं होता. On these factors no changes can be occurred. Like men, machinery, money, आप बार बार इन factors को change नहीं कर सकते. These will remain same. And whereas we talk about the variable premises, these can be changed according to the requirement. These premises can be changed according to the course of action, whatever we require to take. Principles of planning. There are certain principles of planning which includes like principle of reflecting thinking. So whatever you are going to plan, that should predict your intellectual activity. Whatever you have decided, it should be reflected in your plans. कि आपको जो भी whatever the objective you are having, you are setting out for your planning purpose, for your organization achievement purpose. So that should be reflective in your planning thing. These involve reflecting thinking, which signifies problem solving throughout process, a process which by which past experiences are superimposed on the facts and also with the present situation and future trends. So whatever you are planning, it should reflect all over your thinking which is related to your past, present and future, and it should be based on the objective which you have decided. Next is principle of flexibility. So whatever the plan you have made, that should be flexible. It should not be static, that you can't even change your planning, or you can't even change your plans. Whatever you have made, it should be capable enough to be to adapt some flexibility, to adapt some environmental changes. Otherwise there is no use. आपने suppose for example you are like planning to produce some like Indian wear, and you started working on producing and you are working on the production of the Indian wear, and all of the sudden you get to know once your like production is 80% completed, right? So then at that point what you get to know, like in market now there is a demand for the western wear. So what you will do the now, all of your production, all of your expenses, all of your time, all got will get waste, right? Because now the environment has been changed, now the demand has been changed. So whatever the plan you are making, it should be based on the flexibility. It should be capable enough to adapt some changes. Whenever you are going to plan, it should be capable, it should be made by keeping in mind that it requires some changes by changing in the environment. Next is your principle of contribution to enterprise objective. So whatever the plan you are making, it should be based on the your objective only. It should be planned in such a way that your organizational goal will be achieved through this. Next is your principle of selection of alternatives. So as we discussed earlier that in planning thing we have a choice of alternatives. We have lot of alternatives available with us. So in that situation what happens that you should be capable enough to select the best alternative, to select appropriate alternative according to your demand, according to your suitability. It should not be like your decision should not be biased on some point, because on that point you will not be available, you will not be you will not be having a best alternative choice with you if you are being biased on some certain point. So in that situation you will not have a best appropriate plan with you. Next is principle of pervasiveness. So whatever the planning you are doing, whatever the plans you are making, it should be enough, you can say capable enough for that it will be adopted by all the levels, all the departments of the organization. There is no point of making the department wise plan, so that will also increase your production cost, and side by side it will take more and more time also. So whatever the plan you are making, it should be pervasive in nature, that it can be capable enough, it can be adopted by all of the person, all of the departments. And last is your principle of follow up. So many time it has been seen that management prepares the policies, management prepares the plan, but it is not followed up throughout the organization. So it is the main important principle that whatever the plan you are making, you should ensure that that plan is particularly you can say adopted by all over the organization. Then only your objective will be achieved. Next is types of planning. There are three types of plans, like strategic plans, operational plans, and tactical plans. So strategic tells about why we are going to plan something. Operational tells about the how we are going to plan, and tactical explains about what we are planning. So strategic plans are all about why things need to happen. It's a big picture, long-term thinking. It starts with the highest level with defining a mission and casting a vision. So here it's in this only you can say top management is somehow involved in these kind of plannings where they decide about the you can say mission and vision of the organization, like who are we, where we are actually, where we are standing right now, where our organization is standing right now, and where we have to go in future. Okay, next is operational planning. It's all about you can say it's about how things need to happen, how we are going to make this happen, whatever we have decided. It tells about the guidelines of how to accomplish the mission. Mission is already been set in the strategic planning. Now we are thinking about how we are going to perform, how we are going to achieve this objective. So basically it tells about how we will do it, like how we will not do it, or how to handle the each and everything to achieve that particular mission. And last is your tactical planning. Tactical planning may what we have to do is that what is going to happen, we have to think about it. Basically, tactical levels, there are many focused or you can say specific and short term plans where actual work is being done. Here we are working on the achievement of those missions. So what exactly happens here? Here we think about what need to happen at each level each day to support the strategic plan. So हम लोग daily basis पे क्या करने जा रहे हैं at each day each level, how we are going to achieve our mission. So this is being explained in your tactical planning. This is being covered in your tactical planning. Next is policy. What do we understand by the policy? It's a statement under predetermined guidelines that provides direction for decision making and taking actions. Or you can say policies are a pattern of direction for the guidance of those who carry responsibilities for the management of the activities of enterprise. So from both of these definition, what we have concluded that policy is somehow you can say a guideline, or you can say statement which helps us in the direction in to achieve some objective, to achieve the organizational goals. So it provides us the proper direction, so where we have to go, in which direction we have to work. So policies are the general statements, or you can say understandings, which guide manager thinking and decision making. It helps the manager to understand how they have to work, or and in which direction they have to work. They ensure that decisions fall with certain boundaries. Basically, policy ensures that whatever the decision is being taken in the organization, that will fall under the certain boundaries only, under the policies which they have made, under those only. So they usually don't require action but are intended to guide managers. It's a kind of a guidance to managers, where they have a proper direction, where they have a proper guidance that in which direction they have to work on. Next is process of policy formulation. First step is defining policy area. So what you have to do is you have to first of all define the policy area for which you are going to plan a policy. So the objectives and needs of the organization should be kept in mind while specifying the policy area. Then next is identifying policy alternatives. As we all know that there are many alternatives available. So out of that, what you have to do, first of all, first step is to identify all the possible alternatives, policy alternatives. First of all, you have to make a list, you have to identify all of those alternatives. Then next is you have to evaluate those alternatives, that which will be the best policy for your organization, which will be assumed as the best one. So next step is to evaluate the alternatives, all the policy. You have to evaluate all of those. Then out of which you have to find out like which will be the best policy for the organization, which will like focus on the your achievement of the goals, whatever the objective you are having, that policy will be helpful in that particular objective achievement. So it should be selected on that basis. Then you have to select the best possible policy available to you. Then you have to go for the trial run of a policy. So the policy should be implemented on a trial basis in at first. Then it should be assessed if the policy is achieving the desired objective or not. So you have to identify it in your trial policy. Then if it is good enough for your organization, it is helpful in the achievement of the organizational objective, and if the policy is finally all right, then it should be implemented in your business. And last topic of the day is types of policies. There are different types of policies which we are going to discuss. First is originated policy. Originated policy refers to the policy which originates from the top management itself. So what happens here in this, top management decides and they you can say they acquire some policy for the working by their, or you can say subordinates in their operations. So this is decided by the top management for the smooth functioning at all levels of the organization. So what happens here, like they flow basically from the organization's objective as defined by the top management. So basically what happens here, that these policies are aimed at guiding the managers and their subordinates in their operations to achieve the organizational goals. And here all the policies are defined and you can say proposed by the top management itself. Next is appealed policy. It is meant decision given in case of appeals in exception cases up to management hierarchy. In case of doubts, an executive refers to higher authority and on how he should handle the matter. So basically what happens here, like whenever the top management is not able to solve some case or you can say solve some queries, doubts, so what happens that they refer this matter to the topmost management person, topmost higher authority you can say. Then whatever the decision is you can say described as by those authority, whatever the decision they have taken and whatever the you can say direction they have provided to the management, so that will be on the basis of which you are going to prepare the policy. Like in future if same situation occurs again, then we will handle this situation with the same prescribed you can say policy which has been mentioned by the higher authority. So this is your appealed authority. When you management is not involved in the taking the you can say they are not framing the policy. These policies are being framed by the higher authority in a particular situation. Next is externally imposed policy. Externally imposed policy are the policy like which are you can say imposed by the external factor, which are not you can originated in the organization only. They are not within the organization premises. These are like you can say government control regulations or trade associations and trade unions. So these are not covered under the organization matters. Next is basic policies. Basic policies are generally followed by the top management only. That is your basic policy. Like suppose for example, if the branch, you can say if the office will earn or the organization will earn the you can say profit of rupees 5 lakh, and in that situation the branches will be opened in the different places. So this is a basic policy which all the top management has to follow, that if in their you can say organization the rupees 5 lakh is exceeded in your sale, then you have to open the different branches. So this is your basic policy. Next is general policy. These policy affect the middle level management and more specific than the basic policies. So it helps in the working of the middle level management. It guides the middle level management on the accomplishment of the goals. Next is implicit policies. Implicit policies are not, you can say they are not written or they are not recorded, included in the manuals or you can say records, but they are, you can say, for example, let's take the example of this one. So many times आपने ये सुना होगा कि चीजें ऐसे ही चलती आ रही हैं, right? ऐसा बहुत लोग बोलते हैं कि हमें नहीं पता, वी डोंट नो अबाउट द रीजन एग्जैक्टली, बट ऐसा ही होते आ रहा है. सो रीजन बिहाइंड दैट कि कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है, कोई भी सर्टेन रूल्स फ्रेम्ड नहीं है, बट पहले से ही लोग करते आ रहे हैं. सो दे स्टार्टेड फीलिंग लाइक कि ये कोई पॉलिसी है, ये कोई गाइडलाइन है विच दे हैव टू फॉलो. This is the same case of implicit policies. It is not defined in any kind of rules regulation, it is not defined in your you can say manuals or records, but still it is followed by the overall organization. It is practiced by all over the organization. Next is your last is your explicit or written policies. So these are the policies which are in writing or included in the manuals or reports. They are the your explicit policies. So students, that's it for today's lecture. In next video, we will continue your unit 2 only. And here are the questions based on today's lecture, which has been asked in your university exam in your short type of answers. Explain the following terms: tactical planning and operational planning. So you have to solve both of these two questions. Thank you so much for your time. Stay tuned for more videos.